Real estate is about freedom, choice freedom, time freedom, and money freedom, and the impact you can make with that freedom. But it doesn't come without cost. Your freedom takes work. That's why Neil Timmins brings together the tools you need to build your real estate legacy, from tips and tricks to interviews with industry titans. It's all here in one place. Real Grit. Let's get to it.
Everybody, welcome to Real Grit. I'm Neil Timmins, and I'm excited that you're here. I've got Bryan Driscoll here with me. He's the co-founder of Motivated Leads. It's a digital marketing agency that helps real estate investors, people like us, expand their portfolios by quickly generating quality, motivated sell leads. Now, who doesn't need more of that? They handle online marketing so investors can focus on what it is that they do best. So we're going to dive into that and his backstory, because Bryan, like us, also invests. Bryan, how are you?
What's up, man? Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm excited you're here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise.
So everybody's got a different entry point into this industry. How did you even get into the business?
I got into the business my dad took me to a seminar, maybe like back in 2000, Ron LeGrand.
Ron,
right?
yeah.
First guy. Yeah. So I went there, bought his course in the back of the room for like $1,800, which was a ton of money at the time.
Yeah.
And it failed miserably. Went out, did it, got some leads, didn't know what to do. And then I dropped it. I just went on with my life. And probably about 10 years ago, I was on Craigslist looking for a house, and I stumbled upon a wholesaler. So that's how I got back into it. I bought a house off of the wholesaler, saw their wholesale fees, and I'm like, I'm really good at digital marketing. I should I slapped up a Carrot website to see if I could even get leads, and we did really well. So that's kind of how I got into the real estate from like way back when. And then when I got there, like transpired into getting involved,
Yeah. All right. So talk to me. You bought the course in the back of the room. You go out, didn't work. What didn't work? Isn't that almost always it? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it worked really well because it was more along the line. Like we were doing newspaper ads and penny savers. Like we buy houses with phone numbers. Yeah. I got bombarded with. I look back, I'm like, man, we had some awesome opportunities there.
You were right there.
I just didn't know what to do with them because we're talking about owner financing, sub-2, all that kind of stuff. So I didn't know how to close, and I was just green. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking back. I'm like, we were crushing it with a freaking newspaper ad, like a little teeny box in bold letters.
Yeah. No, isn't it funny that sometimes certain things come into your life that it's right there, but you're just not prepared for that opportunity.
Right. Yeah.
And then you grow, change, you go through life, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, now I understand. Now I can be at that level. Right.
Yeah. It's almost like you got to connect the dots from back in the past.
All right. So you started doing digital marketing stuff and you started buying houses. What year was that?
So I started digital marketing back in about 2005 doing SEO.
Okay. Yeah.
And buying houses. Like my first investment property was about 8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a Craigslist deal. Found him on Craigslist. He's looking to sell a house. Went and met with him. I saw at the HUD how much I paid. I'm like, whew, I got to start getting these myself.
What'd you do with that house?
I keep it. I rented it out. Fixed it. It was garbage. You know what I mean?
Made it nice. Turn it into a rental.
Yeah. That was my first one.
So did you end up on the digital marketing side for other folks at that time, or did you end up building your own business in terms of investing and then the digital marketing piece grew out of it?
Yeah. So the digital marketing was first. Yeah. I primarily did digital marketing for like e-commerce and bigger companies, like more national, international stuff. Yeah. And then when I got into the real estate, I slapped up a site for myself, and then I saw a need, and then we transitioned into the local marketing from the national kind of marketing.
From the national side of things. Yeah. All right. So talk to me about local marketing. What do you do there and how do you help folks?
Yeah. Local marketing. So say in this space, I see a lot of mistakes. Well, we help when we just run their campaigns for them. Right.
Sure.
But a lot of people want to do it on their own too. So some tips I can give. A lot of guys want to run ads, say on Facebook, and they're like, okay, I want to run ads. I want to get leads. Well, there's different kinds of leads and different quality. Like you can do lead gen on Facebook and get leads for like $10, or you can get leads for $150. The $10 leads might take you 100 leads to close a deal versus the more expensive, higher quality ones. You're talking to 10 people and you're done.
Yeah.
So things like that, I've found, like, be extremely direct, like with your messaging. Don't go for like home valuations and how much is your home worth. Be like, hey, we're investors. You can sell your house fast or for cash, things like that. So those are some tips on that side.
Yeah. Everybody defines the word lead differently, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And so you and I go to conferences, you're talking to people talk about their lead costs. I don't really know what that means, right? Because I don't know what the word lead means to them. So you really need to quantify what's that word mean. And so you're suggesting go deeper, more direct in your messaging versus broader. Why is that? Some people would say, listen, there's value in quantity. I just want as many bodies as I can talk to.
Yeah, it depends on your time. So the marketing started with me marketing for myself.
Yeah.
So I don't want to deal with all those people calling me because I don't have all the time in the day. So I preferred to have less people call me that are more motivated to sell because I can handle them. And I don't want people calling that are looking to rent houses and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then also you're talking about too, leads. I actually focus more on like deals. It's like, okay, we want to focus on, okay, how can we get people deals, not leads? One example I found, which your audience may enjoy too, is back in the day, right when I started, I'd get a lead on my website. And I had on my notepad on my phone, just like a little text that said, hey, thanks for filling out a form on my website. Here's a link to my calendar to book a time for us to come give you an offer. And it had a link. So I just copy that and I'd send it to every single lead and they would book appointments, like 20 or 30% of them. Yeah. Well, now what we did is we transitioned into a CRM that just automatically does it. Yeah. But a lot of people don't go for that calendar, the meeting. They try going back and forth. And at 3 a.m, if you're doing Google pay-per-click and they click your ad and then book an appointment with you, it's going to stop them from hitting up all the competition like they would normally do anyways, because it changes their direction.
You're absolutely right. For most folks, for most sellers, you obviously get the freak who goes, I want to talk to 20 people and get 20 offers. But for the average person, when they decide to order pizza, they order one pizza from one place. When they decide they want to sell their home, if somebody's responsive and it fills their need and they got an appointment set up, they just stop there.
100%. And it helps gauge their motivation too. So say someone books an appointment with you without talking to you, that's pretty motivating to invite some stranger to their house without even a phone conversation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So it sounds like your system is built out in such a way that you're bringing people through in order to book an appointment on a calendar as part of your follow-up sequence almost immediately.
100%. Yeah. And you have to, because in today's world, like here's an example. Last night, I got a lead that came through and I only buy in one zip code. So I get a lot of leads coming in Pittsburgh, and 99% of them, I'm not interested. So I send to my buddy and we just JV on them.
Sure.
But I got a lead that came through. It was like 9:30. I wake up early. So I'm usually in bed by like 10 o'clock. Yeah. I hopped out of bed, called them, and I went to meet them this morning at 7:30.
Wow.
So it's like the online leads you have to be on top of. So if they're even at 3 a.m, get them that text message, give them an option to at least solve a little bit what they're looking for.
Right. And that's only accomplished through automated follow-up sequences.
And automated sequences too is big because sometimes people aren't ready yet. Like we've had people come through our website, they just ghost us for 3 months and then boom, they shoot us a text. Right. They reply to something. Everyone's different.
Right. When you help folks, other investors, where's the line in terms of what you do and what you don't do? Obviously running the campaigns on Facebook, but what about some of this follow-up stuff? Do you provide any guidance there?
Yeah, you know what? I use Go High Level, a CRM.
Oh, sure.
And we have an agency version. So I'm actually able to just add people in and duplicate our CRM for them. So I just hook people up with it with the same drips that I use.
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So going back to what you were saying, it depends on how you value your time. How you define a lead may depend on how you value your time. If you just want warm bodies to talk to because you got all the time in the day, well, you may want to open that up. But I'm in agreement with you is that I don't want to talk to as many people as possible. I want to talk to as few people as possible to do as many deals as you can, because it's not just a function of time. It's also a function of, total brain drain and emotional drain of after talking to 50 people. There's only so many more people you can talk to.
Right.
Yeah. It becomes
100%.
tough. Yeah.
And then some people are built different. Some people want the cheap leads.
Correct.
And then they pipe them into, say, a CRM on their end, and they just spam the crap out of them.
Sure.
And like that works for like me, it doesn't work for, but some people it's like, okay, give me as many cheap leads as I can get because I'm just going to spam them and it'll work. Like they'll get the people too. It's just a lot of things work if you do it consistently.
Sure. Biggest mistake you're seeing people make when it comes to Facebook ads for finding motivated sellers?
Yeah. Biggest mistake I see people not using the event tracking properly. So on Facebook, you have a pixel event. Yep. Or you have a pixel, and I see a lot of people not using the event properly, which what that means is you have a website and then someone fills out your form and they go to the thank you page. You have a different script that you want to put on that thank you page so you can let Facebook or Google or anybody know this person converted into a lead. And then once you get enough people to do that, their algorithms can try to find more people that are similar.
Yep.
So a lot of people put the pixel on their website or don't even have a pixel, but they miss that crucial part, which that's the benefit. That's why Facebook's so smart and can always deliver ads relevant because of that algorithm.
Do you typically see that in people running their own campaigns? People are not specialists in this world in digital marketing.
Yeah, I see it a lot with people just tinkering around, things like that. I see other mistakes too. So with Facebook, you have a couple choices on what to run. You can run a conversion ad, which means I want to get leads through my website.
Yep.
You can do video views, you can do awareness, you can do reach, you can do link clicks. I see a lot of people messing around with, say, video views. Facebook will give you what you ask for.
Yeah.
So if you ask them for video views, you're going to get a whole bunch of people watching your video, but nothing else. Or same with link clicks. So I see a lot of people thinking, I got to build out this really big funnel, get people to watch my video, and then get them on a link click campaign. I recommend just go straight for the conversion, then retarget them to build your brand. Don't go backwards because you're just wasting money on link clicks because that's all people are going to do.
I think this goes right in line with people trying to do it themselves, thinking they'd save money, but in the end, they don't actually save money. They actually waste a lot of money, a lot of time. And if you put a value on your time, it's tremendous.
Yeah. Probably 5% of the people were built like nerdy. They want to learn it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, it's complicated. You got to fail a ton. You got to spend a lot of money and make the mistakes.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Where do you see in the world of Facebook advertising, let's say, or Google or Instagram, another Facebook piece, where do you see things changing? Where do you think it'll be, 1, 2, 5 years from now?
Yeah, I see Facebook's an older demographic.
Mhm.
So it's our target audience right now.
Yeah.
Facebook, who knows? Because they're going all into the meta and metaverse and stuff like that. It depends on if they change their focus so heavily, which it looks like they might, what goes on there. Because then you have platforms like TikTok. TikTok 6 months ago, we're looking at, that's only kids on there.
Right.
Now, TikTok, and not necessarily in this space yet for motivated sellers,
right,
but there's people crushing it with real businesses, not just kid stuff.
Right.
So there's different platforms there. Facebook's innovative. So I think they'll keep up possibly. It's just like, who knows? Same with Google. Google's been around a long time. And they're different. It's intent based, like someone's searching specific words.
Yeah.
I don't see any competitors out there for them really yet, but on the social side, who knows? Like next year, it could be something totally different.
Yeah, you're right. They dominate the search space, and plenty have tried and plenty have failed. Chip away at that, right? Microsoft got a tiny percentage of that, but it's social continues to evolve.
Yeah, it's because it's addictive too.
Sure, you're right.
People are just scrolling. They're scrolling all day long. It's actually unhealthy how
Yes.
people do it, but they're showing ads because if you're searching for something and then you see ads about it, it's what you're looking for anyways. It just keeps you going. And you're looking at all this other crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct. Well, tell me, I want to go back to you as an investor. What has your strat? Are you still buying today?
Yeah. I just put an offer in this morning.
Still buying. And the goal is what? You fix and flip? You keep them as rentals? What's your focus there?
Yeah, I just keep them in rentals. I've literally never sold a property.
Never sold one.
Yeah, I buy only in my zip code. I
How
don't want to
funny is
drive
that?
real far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
fix them up. I buy cash. Originally, I didn't buy cash. I put 20%.
Yep.
I got a commercial loan. And then I saved up enough to be able to do cash. And then I just keep flipping the same money.
You burr it is what you're doing. Well, I think it's amazing because most people's biggest regret as investors, as we stand at this time, is I sold a property. I should have kept them all. And you
Yeah.
haven't sold one.
Right.
What's been your biggest challenge building your portfolio?
Build my portfolio. Since I'm only buying like 4 or 5 a year, it's hard to get the right contractors.
Oh,
And then
sure.
also manage it too, because I'm so strapped on time these days.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I got to find good guys, but I don't have enough work for them
To stay.
to work all the time.
Right.
Same problem most guys have, I think.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, it's challenging if you're not at some sort of full scale where you can bring people on or have them captive. It's
Mhm.
a tough spot to be in.
Right. Yeah. So one of my property managers, they do project management, which is helping a lot now. So I
okay.
started doing that on the last 2.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
How do you manage the properties?
Property management. I hired a company. I
Third party?
did it for myself before and it sucked.
Yeah. Have you been, since you hired a property manager, have you turned any property managers over, or is this the same one you've been with for some time now?
You know what? I actually have 2. So I have one that does not do project management. So all the stuff that I pull on my own team for, I give it to them and they're awesome.
Yeah.
Then I have a second one that does project management. So any properties that I need rehab or anything like that, I'll give that one to them. And then they'll do the work and then I let them manage it as well.
What are you seeing your cost increase when you're having a third party do the project management side of things versus you running your own crew, let's call it? What are you seeing the price difference being?
They say they charge 10%. So you got the 10% that they charge,
Yep.
But I'm more seeing it in terms of quality of work too, because I'm not overseeing it as much.
Yep.
So a lot of things are getting not done the same way that I would. They're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not like I would be like, no, here's what I want. I'm kind of giving them the free reign. Hey, go do whatever we need to get this thing right.
Yep. They're good, but not great.
Right.
They charge you 10% override. What level of contractors are they paying more for the contractors than you would normally pay?
No, you know what? I'm actually getting reasonable prices because contractors they deal with, they give so much work.
They're dealing in volume.
Yeah. So if they get a roofer, they're feeding this guy. So he's giving decent prices because he wants to stay in the circle.
Typical rehab on that is what for you?
My normal rehab's like 30, 40 grand.
Okay. So it's worth paying $4,000 to have somebody else do it. Right.
Right.
Yeah. You work a lot. You get up super early. It sounds to me like you're a person who gets to recharge in not as many hours of sleep as the rest of the world. What is it in your life is a habit that you possess that attributes to your success?
That's a good question. So I wake up early, like 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe 4.
Yeah. Like 3.
So fairly early, but I go to bed early too. So that's one habit. Like I've noticed after 9 p.m., there's usually not anything good happen. So like, okay.
Mom said it, right? Growing up.
Right. Yeah. So like people are getting in trouble. Like there's nothing good happening usually late at night. But what I found though is when I wake up early, I crank out more work in 2 hours than the whole rest of the day.
Yeah.
So what I do is I use Asana as a CRM, like as a project management, and it has tasks in there. So I'll assign all my tasks to myself or people assign them to me. And then I just go and bang through them all in the morning. And if I have that all organized and in a list, I can accomplish so much stuff in like a short period of time. So making the list of the tasks and not just like rebounding and having people hit you all day. Yeah. It's like, okay, just stick it in there. I'm going to do it all in this time frame versus doing it all day long. Cause then you keep bouncing.
Right. So it sounds to me like your ability to focus in the morning is so much cleaner because you've got a clean list. You know exactly what to do. And then I suspect the level of distractions, i.e. other people, is dramatically reduced or maybe zero.
Yeah. It's dramatically reduced. And my brain works a lot better in the morning. Like around 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, it's like, it's not running like it is.
No, I totally understand that. Yeah. Well, it's been said, you eat the frog first, right? You do whatever's biggest, most important first thing in the day. It's when you're going to be sharpest. What's a change you've made in your personal life or your business life that's had the greatest impact on you professionally? I
would say, well, a big change I made this year is I usually try to pick like one thing a year. So this year I decided this is the year for health. Yeah. So I weighed like 237 in December. I'm like, you know what? This is no good. So my wife and I both hired a personal trainer, got on a diet, things like that. And I was just thinking I'm going to get in shape and like feel better. Yeah. Like it changed a lot of things. Like my brain's running. And if you're ever doing stuff like that too, my wife's doing it. So we're both on the same page. It's really good with both of us because we're doing it together. I'd say that's a big thing.
It makes it a lot easier when you've got let's call it a community to support you. And certainly when it comes to health and eating and all the other things associated with it, your spouse.
Right. And we're doing it together too. So it's a common thing because I work a lot and we're going in 2 different ways. I think way different than her. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we're doing this together.
No, that's pretty neat. What time do you work out?
I usually work out. I wake out of bed. I roll out of bed. I get a glass of water and I hop on the bike.
Yeah.
I wake up at like 5 minutes after I wake up.
Get it turning. Yeah.
Yeah. Except the personal trainer I hired for the weight part, she doesn't start till 10 in the morning. Okay. So I'm like, oh, you're killing me. So it cuts into the day, but I'm willing to sacrifice for it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. 2022, as you look forward to the balance of the year, where's your business headed?
Our business is growing quickly here. So we're really focused on building teams. We're growing rapidly. And what I'm trying to do this year, especially like right now, is look at everything that I'm doing that I don't like doing during the day and list it out and then find, okay, who likes doing this kind of stuff and hiring them so that I can focus on the stuff that really makes me run.
Isn't it amazing that somebody's list of don't likes is somebody else's list of absolutely loves?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. And then when you find that right person, in many cases, it's been my experience that the list of don't likes in our world, which are their loves, their list of don't likes are oftentimes our loves.
Right. Yeah. I always thought, boy, this stuff sucks. I don't want to do it.
Nobody.
And then, people, that's what they really like doing it.
Right.
Like some people just want to be in a room. They don't want to talk to anyone. They just want to look at data. Correct. Or different things, Yeah.
Right. Let's move on to our, what I call the final segment, for impact. Your favorite quote, the 5 laws of gold from The Richest Man in Babylon. Why is that so impactful for you?
So back in the day, I used to get involved with different business things, or I used to fail a lot. Like always be failing, getting involved in stuff.
Yeah.
So when I read that book, I'm like, okay, here's a checklist of 5 things. And I started like every decision I'm making, I'm like, okay, does it make this or not? And once I started doing that, everything started to become profitable. So like, don't get involved with people that don't have experience. Don't get involved with tricksters, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So once I started looking at that, it's like, okay, this is pretty clear. If it passes these check boxes, it's probably worth doing. If it's not, get it out of your mind. Don't think about it anymore.
Yeah. Seek counsel from wise men, right?
Right.
I mean, often, meaning don't get involved with those who don't have experience, meaning when you're looking to do something new, and new is great, you must seek counsel from wise men. People who have been there, done that.
Yeah. It's the same. Like even I see people in a real estate space, like, okay, if you want to invest money, don't partner up with your buddy with no experience and say he's going to flip a house. Find the guy that knows how to flip houses, but doesn't have the money. Right. You supply the money, but he's got the experience to do it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What do you think holds most investors back from hitting their personal next level?
I think people overthink stuff a lot and don't take action as much. I think a lot of people that I see, they want to get to the next level, myself included, sometimes we overthink it. We're like, oh, I got to do this, this, and this, and this before I can do whatever it is, versus just go do it and figure it out on the way. Like, don't be sloppy and haphazard, but take action. Don't just be a bookworm and constantly keep researching and never take that action. You
learn best when you're going, when you're doing. Right. You know what? That's interesting. My daughter is 14, plays volleyball, and I was watching them play this last weekend. There's a player, somebody else on the team who I commented to my daughter. She's like half the time really good and half the time like not so great. So I was observing her, watching her, my wife sitting there. I said, you know what? That girl is really good when things are at full speed. I'm talking like there is no thought. You only get to react. And when you're sitting there versus when things are very slow get through the gameplay, she's got a totally different game because she's in her head. She's thinking about what has to transpire versus, we're all conditioned to a certain extent to take action, to do something. We've got a natural rhythm associated with it. You're just much better getting 100%. In the flow.
Yep. I agree.
Outside of real estate, what are you most passionate about?
Outside of real estate, well, I have 3 kids. I like hanging with them a lot, and I like to barbecue. So, which I had to cut back with the diet, but I got a big green egg. I got into barbecuing.
You're smoking. And, yeah,
smoking meats.
Yeah. So what's your go-to?
I like brisket. I like reverse seared steaks, pulled pork, ribs, beef ribs, all kinds of stuff.
You love it all, dude. Brisket that's a commitment.
It is. Yeah.
What's that? 18, 20 hours on the green egg? How long is it taking?
It's a full day. Yeah. You're waking up early and it's cooking till dinner time. What I like about smoking meats, like if you cook a brisket, you're not just eating that by yourself. It's forcing you to invite people over, and it's creating an experience. Barbecue
is community, isn't it? I mean, you're right. Because there's every time you go in there, you get a pork butt and the thing's like 6 pounds, like nothing small in barbecue. Yeah. No, I love barbecuing as well. It's a lot of fun. And it's, for whatever reason, it's dad's territory, right?
Right. Yeah.
My kids will come out. Can I spritz it? Tell me, what's your favorite way to make an impact in the community?
Favorite way to make an impact? Like sometimes I'll donate money, things like that. But what I like to do, like, for example, I just got involved with a charity up the street and I hit them up because I see they're trying to get their money out or their message out. Like, I could donate cash, but I hooked up with them. I'm like, hey, hook me up with your marketing director. Let me show you guys how to run the ads. I'll fund the ad spend for it. But I'll teach you how to do it in-house also. And then I just started doing this last week. Like, I was just bringing them up to speed. So my goal is there. Hopefully I can fund it, make it really profitable for them. And then they can actually run it themselves and they know how to do it too. So I kind of like teaching people how to do stuff and kind of seeing how far the snowball will go.
Give a man a fish, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I think that's tremendous. The ability to give, and then there's some velocity to that. That thing has legs then once you teach, right? And that's really how you're given, is through education.
Right.
That's great. So somebody's out there, they want to learn more about what you do, maybe want to talk to you about what it's like to work with you on an ongoing basis. They want motivated leads. How do they connect with you? Where do they find you? Yeah, just go to our website. It's motivated-leads.com. Fill out a form or give a call. All right, cool. We'll make sure we get a link put in the show notes here so folks can find you. Listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to connect up. I think it's cool to hear your backstory about how you you got a little seed in real estate, then you went down a different path in the digital marketing side. Then all of a sudden you get back into real estate and realize there's a terrific marriage between digital and real estate and how you're able to capitalize on that for yourself and then turn into a business where you're able to help other folks in this industry get motivated sellers, because none of us have enough, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Brian, thanks for taking the time to connect here.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. For everybody here at Real Grit, I'm Neil Timmins, reminding you that real estate requires real grit. See you next time. If you like our content and want more, you can access it at realgritpodcast.com. You hear it guest after guest. Instinctively, you already know it. But let me call it out. The most expensive action is inaction. The real estate market is full of opportunities. You just need to uncover them. You can build a business that lasts for years, makes monumental impact in the lives of those that you love. It's not just about business, but about the freedom you get because of it. Have you ever heard the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I believe that partnering is essential. In fact, I partner with hardworking investors all the time. The point is that you can get a lot further with the right partner. Let me say it again, the right partner. If you've ever thought about partnering with anyone, or if you have a partner now, I encourage you to download my free Partner and Profit Guide, which includes the top 5 must-answer questions to evaluate a profitable partnership. You can find it at www.legacyimpactpartners.com. I'll see you in the next episode.